Welcome to MSUA's Game Changers Live, where we speak with satellite and mobile connectivity thought leaders about industry trends, new technologies, and talk about where things are headed in the future. I am your host, Lisa Dreher, and I'm really excited to introduce our guest for today, Steve Hailey. He is the product director for Push to Talk at Network Innovations. Welcome to the show, Steve.
Thank you, Lisa. Thanks for having
Yeah.
me.
Absolutely. Maybe you can start by giving us a little bit of background on yourself and network innovations.
Awesome. Thank you. So I've been with Network Innovations for the past couple of years now. Prior to that, I have been in public safety and emergency and disaster communications for about 25, 30 years. So my background is really my passion really is taking care of the first responder user, right? So whether they're in the middle of a disaster incident or public safety, whether it be fire, police, EMS, federal government, anything like that. That's really where my passion is helping that community communicate effectively and to be able to muster the different resources out. So my background, I'm a firefighter as well in the DC metro area, and been a past flight medic, and been on over 100 disasters throughout the world. I've worked for the United Nations Emergency Telecom Cluster. I've worked for the Red Cross, the International Red Cross. I've worked for, geez, you name it, any of the large international NGOs. I've done work for all of them all over the world. So.
Oh, wow. Amazing. Amazing. So, can you also give us a little bit of an overview for network innovations then?
Yeah, so Network Innovations, we primarily cater. Most of our customer base is federal government and public safety, state and local, throughout the world. So and government, to include military too. So our customer base needs mission critical communications, always on communications, and we're in the business to provide that to them, whether it be satellite data, satellite push to talk, um, or even two-way radios and that sort of thing. So
Wow, great. That sounds like a really broad offering. So, maybe you can give us a little bit of an update on network innovations offerings.
yeah, so Network Innovations, we're a global company based out of Calgary, Canada, but we have offices, multiple offices in the U.S. to include Network Innovations US Gov, and then we have offices in UK, Netherlands, Germany, obviously Canada, and we service like I said, the federal, state, and local space, military, also the maritime space. So whether it be workboats or luxury yachts, we do them all. And but yeah, we're kind of all encompassing when it comes to satellite and satellite communications in remote and austere environments where there normally isn't connectivity. That's really where we shine.
Got it. Got it. Are there key trends that are happening in the industry right now that are impacting your strategy as a company, especially as it pertains to mission critical communications?
Yeah. So as you know, the technology is changing every day, right? I mean, the elephant in the room is, LEOs, all different kinds of new LEO satellite constellations going up, and lots of different technologies that are changing every day, and trying to keep on top of that is difficult, at best, but and really being a trusted advisor to our customer base to really educate them on what's out there, what's available, what's coming, and what works the best, both in a mission critical capacity, because that's really what we strive at, is not the general consumer, but people that have to have communications always on it all the time. So it's really just, like I said, being that trusted advisor to our customers in those spaces.
Right, right. Are there some particular use cases that you or examples that you could give us that maybe the company has worked on recently? I know there's
Oh,
probably some things you can't talk about, but
yeah, there's quite a few I can't talk about, unfortunately, but I can say that overall, let's just say for instance, we have a agency or organization that needs to communicate in a disaster or an incident scene anywhere in the world. So obviously, we bring them internet, right? So we bring
Mhm.
them their connectivity back to whether it be a small team environment, whether it be a larger base type environment that they're doing in a remote location anywhere in the world. We can provide that to them. Now, once we do that, right? So where I come in is we provide that capability, but then they want to do more, right? So not only do they just want internet access, but they also want to be able to send video out from there. They want to be able to have push to talk, like with their two-way radios, and extend their digital two-way radio footprint from that incident scene all the way to back to their headquarters, wherever that might be. And so we're really keen on providing that capability to our customer base, all the way down to whether they have a P25 two-way radio network, and and they're talking on scene and mustering their resources and logistics around with that, and that we can provide a way, a means, infrastructure from that two-way radio right to a box, and then from that box or a radio gateway, a digital radio gateway, can provide that tied to satellite connectivity, and then bring that all the way back to their headquarters and talk to. So literally, we're bringing the infrastructure on board where they could talk on a two-way radio that has no infrastructure and be able to talk anywhere in the world and provide that. And then further on that, we're also looking at we provide a low bandwidth video compression device that we use over satellite, something that we've created that some of our customer base is using. So imagine, not only if you shoot that video right on a video camera and you want to show people this is what we're looking at, but you got to be able to talk about what's on that video, right? So we have,
Mhm.
like I said, push to talk solutions to be able to say, hey, this is what we're looking at, this is what's going on. And so whether it be a drone video, whether it be a handheld video, whether it be from an aircraft, and we shoot that down, shoot the video down to our solutions, and be able to transmit that video back in a low bandwidth, compressed way, is a game changer, really. So
Yeah.
yeah, so we're doing a lot of really, really interesting things. We're much more than that, but that's some of what I can talk about right now.
Right.
Um,
Wow, that is really exciting because yeah, video can often be a major limitation, but it's so
yeah,
valuable, especially in situations like that. So that's a really interesting innovation for sure.
yeah, so people, I mean, a lot of, they want full office environment, voice, video, and data capability in the middle of nowhere, and so we
Yeah.
have to figure out a way to provide that to anyone and everyone, who needs that capability in a mission critical sense, right? So
Right.
to be able to do that is obviously difficult at best, but with some of these newer constellations and things, it's educating our that community that, hey, this is capable, right? We're able to do this, but these are the limitations that you're going to encounter, and really being that trusted advisor to help them through that, help them understand that. So
Absolutely, absolutely. So what role are partnerships playing in your business today?
oh, absolutely. I mean, big, huge role, right?
Yeah.
We're even working with our customer base, on, defining their requirements, helping them define their requirements based on what's available out there, and really tailoring solutions, bespoke solutions to them. We're just not, finding something that's off the shelf. We're really looking at, understanding their requirements very specifically, and finding systems and solutions that fit that requirement, and putting those together in a device agnostic way, and providing that to them. And it all depends. Do they want it in a vehicle, like a mobile, type of mobile command, tactical operate? Is it a tactical operations type thing in a tent? Are we in a building? Are we in the middle of the desert or in the middle of the jungle, mountaintops? We have to really kind of understand our customers' requirements and build our solutions around that. So
Right. Oh my gosh. So, yes, a lot of different environments and a lot of different like requirements, right?
yeah, yeah,
Are there some really big changes that are coming in the next, I don't know, 12 to 18 months
yeah.
that users should be aware of?
Yeah, so obviously everybody's aware of the new constellations that are coming online. Obviously, everybody's aware of Starlink. I mean that's everybody's talking about it. A lot of folks aren't talking about the limitations that it has, but that's okay. That's why we're here, right?
Yeah.
Whether it be OneWeb is out there, and they're more of an enterprise grade. They're starting to come online with more and more satellite footprint. Amazon Kuiper's coming online too soon. Just there's so much capability that's coming online in the LEO space, but a lot of folks, I feel like sometimes they're looking at that, but they're not realizing there's the older KU band connectivity that is still available and is has a committed information rate, has a guaranteed service, and we totally get that. The Leos are faster and they have higher bandwidth capabilities and all that, but at the same time, we are really stressing that if you have a mission critical need, then you ought to be looking at having a more diversified portfolio or connection base and using multiple connections in order to do that, whether it be satellite or terrestrial based, and be able to do both at the same time as failovers or bonded service or something of that nature. So we're really a lot of folks are understanding that. They're seeing that
Mhm.
that's important is to look. I'm all about having a PACE plan. I don't know if you're familiar with that term, but it's having a primary, an alternate, a contingency, and emergency, and really it's a plan A, B, C, and D, if you will. um,
Yeah.
uh, but in the mission critical space and public safety, that's what we follow. You in disaster, you can't put all your eggs in one basket. You really have to have multiple capabilities, because you don't know what's going to happen from one minute to the next. And if you put everything in one thing, then you're setting yourself up for failure. So we really stress that to our customer base.
Sure, sure. That redundancy absolutely is very important. What role does the, I guess, considerations of these different networks have on security as well? Is that something that you
Yeah,
also
so
look at?
yeah, that's a very good point. I mean, security obviously is really important. Cybersecurity and is it up and foremost on the top of our list. Whether it's a nation state actor that's trying to hack a system or bring your system down. Um, that's why having backups in place to be able to switch and go back and forth between them when there's problems with one or another. Again, that's why a PACE plan is so important, and
Mhm.
for you to be able to deal with those situations they come. So
Right, right.
absolutely. So
Okay, great. So, one of the last questions I want to ask you is related to, like you're looking into the future. As you know, the MSUA has been around for over 30 years now, and I want you to consider how far we've come in the last 30 years and look forward another 30 years and give us your prediction about what may be in store for us.
that's a great question, right? I've seen. I'll tell you, on disasters, I used a very old NASA satellite called ATS-3. I don't know if you remember that. But
Mhm.
there was an ATS-3 satellite who used that on disasters back in the early 90s, and used it as a VHF two-way radio repeater on disaster assignments, right? And it was funny because a few years later, we saw a sister satellite in the Smithsonian Institute. So I realized at that point that I was in this industry quite a long time. But make a long story short, I've seen us go from those to Inmarsat A terminals. If you remember those, Inmarsat C, Mini M's, and then MSAT we use today. Network Innovations is a business owner of working with Legato on the Skyterra 1 satellite for the MSAT system. And we have some really neat new products and services coming down the line called SatRad Harmony, doing some digital radio connectivity to that two-way radio systems to in a device agnostic way. So we're really looking at we're definitely looking at our strategy going forward and trying to see what's next, right? But what do I see in 30 years or even now from before? Direct to cell handsets, really a device agnostic way to connect for people to connect, right? You probably seen this already. People are talking about their phones talking directly to the satellites and things like that. More and more, we're going to see that kind of thing. We're going to see more of that connectivity and integrated solutions between cellular and satellite. And in some cases, you're probably not even going to know the difference. But that's not going to happen tomorrow. That's going to happen down the line. And but I see that happening. In the next few years, I see that sort of happening too. So,
Wow, all very exciting things for sure. I'm as soon as these continue to grow and expand and come into being, we definitely want to have you back on to talk about and maybe dig into some of those topics a little bit deeper. Can you tell us if someone is interested in learning more about network innovations, what they should do?
yeah, the best way is to go to our website, www.networkinnovations.com. And there's a way to obviously look at all of our products and solutions there. And there's a way to reach any of our offices in many different countries and to be able to talk to us directly and help you determine what solutions best fit your requirements, and we'll help you through that.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for making time to be here with us today, Steve. It was a great interview, and I'm sure our audience got a lot of great information out of this.
Thank you, Lisa, for having me again.
Absolutely. And I do want to take just a moment to thank the Mobile Satellite Users Association for hosting these sessions. You can learn more about the MSUA at msua.org. We are currently accepting nominations for the Satellite Mobile Innovation Awards for 2024. So be sure to visit the website to learn more about that, as well as our weekly newsletter and all of the great user benefits that we have available. So be sure to check out msua.org, and we'll see you next time on the next MSUA's Game Changers Live.